Section 2. Talking about your job. In this section, you'll hear two people talking about their jobs. Read the questions first, then listen and make some notes before answering the questions. Text 1. Director of the Guide Dog Breeding and Training Center.
My job has often attracted much interest and even envy from others. I have been working for the Guide Dog Breeding and Training programs for over 15 years at the Guide Dogs National Breeding Center. Our association handles nearly 150 puppies a year. To begin with, each puppy has to go through a screening process called the PPA, which stands for Puppy Profiling Assessment. It involves a series of 8 tests. Each of these tests in the PPA has a scoring system that goes from 1 to 7. 1 means the puppy is more of the sensitive, introverted types, and on the other end, 7 means the puppy is very outgoing and robust. 4 is an ideal for guide dog works. The PPA tests the puppy's attention, obedience, loyalty, and courage. It also tests how the puppies cope with distractions, unfamiliar sounds, unfamiliar terrains, and obstacles, and how they respond to calls. Once we have profiled them, we will match the puppies with a puppy walker. Then, they will spend the first 12 months of their lives in a domestic environment. Although the formal guide dog training starts much later, the training really starts from day 1. During the time in the nest, even the very early socialization with sights and sounds is really important. Their stay with their puppy walkers is about getting them out in the environment and getting them used to town centers and public transport. But when they first arrive, it's all the basic things like house training that matter, just like anything people would do with their pet dogs. What we want is a well-behaved dog that is easy to live with. Because guide dogs are working for a short part of the time, but spend a lot of their time as a pet dog. The first formal training begins when they are 40 months of age, and it takes up to 30 weeks with the mobility team at the training school. The key aspects of training involves following commands and recognizing obstacles. After the early training stage, each dog continues its training with a mobility instructor. Each dog is unique to its owner, and each one is carefully matched with the speed, the height, and the lifestyle that the owner needs. They will be ready for service when they turn 2 years old. I often get asked why all guide dogs seem to be of the same breed. The reason is that guide dog breeds are chosen for temperament and trainability. From our experience, the first-time cross of a golden retriever and a Labrador is the very best guide dog. They are the ones that are the most successful. They combined the sensitivity of the golden retriever and the tolerance of a Labrador, which makes the breed ideal for guide dog work. Obviously, the pure golden retrievers and pure Labradors do very well, and some people love the German Shepherds. In fact, 5% of the guide dogs that we breed and train are German Shepherds. This is why a typical guide dog you see on the streets tends to be similar breeds. It is understandable that anyone who works with guide dogs gets very attached to the dogs. I think probably the people who get most attached are the volunteer puppy walkers, because a dog will live with them from 7 weeks of age to 40 months of age. So, there's a real attachment between them and the family. It can be quite a wrench when the puppies live to go into training to become a guide dog. It is indeed a very generous act of charity for the puppy walkers to volunteer their effort to help raise these puppies. It costs around 50,000 British pounds to support one guide dog from breeding, training to retirement. With no government funding, we rely heavily on volunteers' contribution and the generous donations from the public. With a growing population with sight loss, we can all contribute to help either through service, donation, or simply being more welcoming to guide dogs in our city. Do consider supporting the guide dog services in whatever capacity you can.